A person out of the will of God will often find themselves just in a miserable state of mind. And not only will they be miserable, everybody around them will be miserable. And just feel the effects of what is permeating out from this person or individual who's struggling with this separation from God, because they're just in a time of wandering. It's often a time of confusion. And I pray that if anybody that is listening to this is in that state of mind, that they'll go find help, because it's a terrible state of mind to be in that situation where you're struggling through something, you're dealing with an emotion or something of that nature that is just really causing you a lot of grief and pain. Well, we've been talking about Jonah this week, and this first chapter of Jonah, where we find him fleeing from the presence of God, going off to Tarshish, this place where he just felt like he could just get lost and put the involvement in life and ministry behind him. He just wants to just disappear in many, many ways. So he's finally found some rest, I assume. He's down at the bottom of the ship, and he's asleep. A lot of discussion going up on the deck because of this terrible, terrible storm, and people are searching, trying to figure out whose God is responsible for this. And finally somebody speaks up and says, well, there's a guy down at the bottom of the ship, and he's asleep. And he's not here to account for himself. Let's go wake him up. So the captain of the ship goes down there and says, oh, sleeper, rise and tell us, who is the God that you serve? And so when Jonah woke and realized his surroundings, he says, I serve the God of the heavens and of the sea. Kind of an all-in-one type of God, which certainly, as the scripture says, that he is he's the God of the universe, the God that I serve, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But as Jonah began to give account of himself, and he begins to say to the people, he says, I'm here on this ship, I'm fleeing for the presence of God, but nobody was surprised. Everybody on the ship, they said, no, we know that because you told us that when you first arrived on the ship. And I heard that as I was just reading it to myself, and I'm thinking, that's interesting. Before he had gone to sleep, he had told everybody, I am here, I am running from the presence of God, and that's the way it is. And it just causes me to think about us humans and how we react to things and how we deal to things. And so many times we'll just talk to everybody about it, but never really just get down to the brass tacks and just talk to God. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.